Welcome to day 7 of the 30-day brand building challenge. We're motoring on. We are almost a third of the way through this process. Well done. Just keep going. It didn't promise to be easy, but I do promise you it will be worth it. So today we're going to dive into something that is quite exciting. I can feel the excitement. Give me a hashtag excitement in the comments there. I am going to challenge you to start talking to some people who are in alignment with what you are doing and where you are going, not direct competitors, but those who you know are peers. So they're kind of on the same level as you, maybe higher. And these are people who already have experience of working with your dream clients. So as you've gone through the creation of the vision and you've got clear about what the values are, you've made some decisions, hopefully by now, about who you're targeting, who you're servicing, and how you are going to provide those services to them. You know, these ideas will just be bubbling about right now. You don't have to have any fixed thing, but that's the point of doing this next step now before you start creating lots of other stuff. So the point of this activity is for you to just look through your Facebook list, your LinkedIn list, if you've got a YouTube channel, then look through, who are the people that are subscribed to you, that you've started to build a relationship with, the common people that keep showing up all the time. Who are you connected with on Instagram or TikTok or your email list, your phone book, okay? So I want you to make a list of just 20 for now. You can do more if you want to, but I just want you to go through all of the contacts that you've got, no matter where they are, out of all the contacts you have, who are the 20 contacts that you trust, who have got experience in the area that you are going into, who you can arrange a meeting with. Now, the point is not to have the meeting right now. The point is that you are going to need to connect with them and start booking into your calendar, because I'm sure you've got other things going on and doing this isn't the only thing that you're doing during your day. So what we need to do is start booking some meetings a week from now. So I want you to start reaching out. So make that list of the 20 people that you trust, that you know have got some kind of experience working with the kind of people that you want to be working with. And that's incredibly important, because what we're doing here is we're reaching out to non-competing people. So let's say, for example, you are a wedding photographer. A non-competing person might be a bridal gown service, or a hair salon that specifically deals with weddings, or a photo booth company, or a fill in the gap company that is directly connected. So you're all in the area of serving brides, for example, and think about, well, how many other people can I connect with who don't compete with me, but that we could be referring business to one another, and they've already got direct experience in the area that I'm going into. So when I share with them, hey, I'm thinking of starting this up and I've created the vision and the values, and by the time you have the conversation with them in 7 days or more, then you're going to have your mission, you're going to have your pitch, you're going to have all of that done. So what we don't want to do is get all of that done, and now you've got to try and make meetings, which could take a week to get in the diary. So that's why we want to get them into your calendar now, so that you can start building those appointments up, okay? So it's really exciting. If you feel a bit nervous, then that's good. And probably you feel nervous because it's not all complete yet. But don't worry, it is going to be at least more complete, even if you haven't got it all together. That's the point of having these conversations, because the only way you're going to create some completion around that is to actually start talking to people who have got those dream clients in their list, to say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. I've come up with this, and this so far. What do you think? Do you think, is this something that this audience will resonate with and relate to? And they're going to give you some if you trust them, that's why I say to pick people you trust, right? Because opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. So you want to pick people who you can totally trust, and ideally who are as kingdom focused and God centered as you are. Pick people who have been touched by Holy Spirit. You don't just want opinions from anyone. You want opinions from people that really have a heart for Jesus, and they, they're solid. That's the best way I could describe it. They're solid. They people that care. They have all the fruit, right? You can see that they are bearing fruit in the area that you're going into, because you don't want to be getting opinions and feedback from people who are very overly opinionated, who you're just like, I don't know if I'm going to trust that, because what will happen is they'll then give you some advice, and it might not be good advice, and you then might be thrown all over the place. Oh, there's no point in me going into this market. You've got to pick people you trust. You might not even have 20 of those people yet, right? So just pick 5 or just pick 10. But I really want you to start building up those meetings, start building up those conversations, because those conversations is what will lead to conversions. Now, what usually happens on these calls, very often, the person that you share it with will say, actually, I was thinking about doing that. Like, I feel like I need that. Can I book a session in with you? or whatever it is that you're selling, or the program you've created. Quite often when I'm having conversations with people, they'll say, do you know what? I need this thing that you're thinking about doing. I need this, or my mum needs this, or my friend needs this, or my brother needs this, my sister needs this, my client needs this. So the perfect situation is that they become either a client or they become an ambassador for you, which means they're then going to go and tell everybody about you. They might say, you know what, I've got a podcast. I'd love to interview you on my show. Yes, thank you very much, because we're always looking for the path of least resistance. Somebody comes along and it makes an offer like that. Great, you're just about to put me in front of my audience that I really want to do business with. Thank you very much. If they've got a show, if they've got a blog, if they've got online programs they're running, you could say to them, well, look, if you need anything, anytime, I'd be happy to provide some free training that sits in your online courses or resources or whatever. It's so powerful doing that. Literally, I was walking across a sidewalk, and about to go across a crossing. I won't go into the whole story because it was a very Holy Spirit moment, but ultimately that morning, Holy Spirit guided me to go to Starbucks. And I said, I don't need to go to Starbucks. I don't want to go to Starbucks. I need to get to this conference I'm going to. And he said, go to Starbucks. So I went and waited in the line, very, very long line, waited for ages, maybe about 10 minutes I'd been waiting there, nothing. And I'm saying, what's going on? Like, what do you want me to do? And the next thing he says, you can go. I thought, what? Okay. It seemed like a waste of time at the time. So I walk out and I go onto the sidewalk, and just as my feet hit the sidewalk, the little dude turns white so we can cross the crossing. And as I start crossing, there's a woman who I just catch out the corner of my eye, who's got a bright pink wig on, right? She's one of the helpers at this conference I'm going to. And I said to her, oh, I bet I know where you're going, because everybody was dressed in pink. And she said, oh, yeah, we're both going there. We can walk together. And then she said to me, we hadn't even taken 3 steps onto this crossing. And she said, I know you, don't you? I said, I don't know how you could know me. Like, this is only the 2nd event I've been to in this country. I don't know how you could know me. And she said, back in 2012, you delivered some training on, and she mentioned the person whose training I had done this training for. She said, you did some training on his online courses center. She said, and I went through that training. I then started following you. She said, I'm on your email list. I follow everything you do. I watch your YouTube videos. I love everything you're doing. And like you run events in the UK, right? And I said, yeah. And she said, great, because next time you're in the UK, let me know. And I said, well, where are you from? She said, London. So I'm walking across this crossing in Dallas, Texas, with somebody from London who has seen me on somebody else's online training 12 years before. So never, ever, ever think to yourself, oh, I'm not going to do my training for free. I'm not, you can charge for your training just as we do. We charge for our live in-person training. We charge for our retreats. We charge for our coaching, our mentoring. We charge for our Impact Catalyst program. We give our resources, or are about to give all of our tools and resources and the things that go with the program. We're giving those away. Holy Spirit's guiding us to give those away. But the actual things where it's our time invested into that to do one-to-one or, one-to-many training, coaching, mentoring, that's paid for. So this lady has seen me when I offered to speak at this person's event. I've spoken at their event and she's now a follower and wants to come to our events in the UK. So this is a great opportunity for you to start aligning yourself with people who have the audience that you are looking to serve. So this is a very easy step, really. This is the easiest out of all the steps you've done so far in the last few days. All you've got to do is go through contacts you already have and reach out to them and say, hey, look, I'd really love to share an idea that I've had. I've had this, really what I think is a good idea, and I really value you. I respect you. I appreciate you, and I'd really appreciate it if you could take 15 minutes to brainstorm this idea with me. I would so appreciate that, and get the date booked in 7 to 10 days from now. And by then, going through the rest of this process, you should have everything set in motion. Like I say, we're doing this now because you've got other stuff you're going to do in the other days. So tomorrow, we're going to start getting back into it again. But I need you to get these sessions booked in, and you won't regret it. Because you might come away with clients. You'll definitely come away with potential referrals. You'll come away with potential appearances and public speaking on shows and podcasts, and maybe even speaking at people's events. They might invite you to write for their blog or their magazine or whatever it is. So the more influential the people are that you're reaching out to, obviously the better that's going to be for you. And you want to make sure that you plan it in advance so that it's in your calendar and you've got that set up. Now, finally, let's talk about calendar, because you could go backwards and forwards with these people. And if you're contacting like 10, 20 people all in one go, and they all come back to you and they're all trying to give you their calendars and whatnot, that's going to be a bit of an issue for you. That's going to take a lot of time. My advice would be, actually, I forgot to mention this. My advice would be to also make a suggestion. When you reach out to them, say, hey, would you be available on Tuesday at 11:45 or Thursday at 10:45? Always make it at 45 minutes past the hour, like 15 minutes to the top of the hour. If you do that, then they feel like, oh, I can make time for that because it's 11:45, 11:45, 11:45, right? So do it so it only feels like it's 15 minutes. And then usually what happens is they'll block out some extra time. But at the very worst, you've got 15 minutes for free of their time, which they are charging other people for. So do that 11:45, and you usually will get that yes, because they think, oh, it's just 15 minutes. I can fit that in. That's a little tip there. So the final piece of this is to look at setting up a digital calendar. You can go online, you can Google and say calendar appointment system, calendar system, appointment system, put something like that in and you'll get lots of different options. I used to use Calendly. Calendly is very popular, which is Calend and then Ly, Calendly. That is very popular. A lot of people use that. There's one called Meet Me. I mean, there are so many different ones. I have a whole system that does all my email marketing and everything, and it's all encompassed in that. So that I use that's got all the calendars and everything in there. But what happens is once you set that calendar up, you can send your link out to anybody and say, hey, pick a time that works for you. Now, I don't send that calendar straight away because I want to create conversation. First of all, I'm going to send the first message and say, hey, haven't spoken for a while. Looks like you're doing great. Just been looking at your timeline. How are the kids? Like, you want to make conversation and make it something that's a relationship, right? Because you're going to build a relationship with this person ideally. So do a little bit of the kind of small talk at the beginning, and then say, look, I was thinking about you because I really respect you. I respect your opinion, and I'm just about to start something that's really important to me. I'd really appreciate it if you could take, say, 15 minutes to brainstorm this through with me. Would you be available on Tuesday at 9:45 or Friday at 3:45? And they're going to come back to you and most likely will say, oh, I'm busy on those days, but how about 3:15 on blah day, right? So they'll usually come back with something like that. Now, when they come back, you can either say, that sounds great, if it is a calendar appointment that matches, or when they come back and say, yes, when are you thinking of? Or I can't make any of those dates. Have you got any other dates? You could go back to them with your calendar link and say, hey, why don't you book the best time and day for you? And now they're booking themselves into your calendar link. So that's a really good way, a solid way of not having to deal with any of the mess of going backwards and forwards. So that is your challenge for today, is to go, and I would love for you to make a list of 20, but just do what you can with what you've got. Remember to push yourself. Like if I say 20 and you're thinking, I don't know 20, I bet that if you go through all of the places that you are connected to people, I bet you can find 20. And the thing is, if you only pick 5 and you only reach out to 5, and those 5 can't meet with you, or they're not interested, or they can't make it, it's very rare. But if they do, then you've now used up all of your options, right? If you do 20, you're going to get the 5, right? And you want to be having at least 5 conversations. So that's your goal for today. And I'll see you tomorrow for our next deep dive. And tomorrow we're going to start getting back into it again to give you completion, start getting more completion around your message and your brand. So have fun with this, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.